What's up, TRT community? If you guys can hear me okay, then just please let me know in the comments that my audio is coming in well, and then we'll get started here. My camera's a little crooked. Let me straighten that up. All right. Everybody hear me okay? All 8 of you? All right. Let me know if you can hear me, and then we'll get started. Are you hearing my audio? Just let me know, and then we'll get started. And also hit the like on your way in. I'd appreciate it. Awesome. Hey, John, can you hear me okay? Yes, awesome. Well, then we'll get started. All right, guys. Well, this video is going to be about why I switched back to glute injections. But before we get to that, I wanted to mention the sponsor of this video. This video is sponsored by Let's Get Checked. They offer affordable and professional at-home testosterone testing kits. It's very simple, very discreet. It comes right to your house. You get the kit, open it up, you get the vial, prick your finger, send that back to them, and in a few days, you get the results right on your phone. It's really easy. I've used it in the past, and I like them a lot. The link is in the description below, and you can use Cohen20 to get a discount off that kit should you be interested. Also, before we get into the video, I wanted to ask you guys, do you want to learn a card trick real quick before we get started? Well, yeah, I want to learn one too. I don't know it. Anyway, let's jump in. If you have benefited from this channel in any way, please hit the like button on the way in. Okay, guys, why did I switch back to a glute injection when I've been so happy with the deltoid injections that I've been telling you guys about that I've been doing for almost a year now? Well, the reason why I switched back was because I just wasn't having as good success anymore with the deltoid injections. Um, I don't know why. Here's what would happen. I would, when I started, I would inject in the left one, and then I would inject in the right one, and I would just alternate going back and forth between the two, and that worked out good for me. Then it seemed like I couldn't really get a good spot in my left deltoid anymore that didn't just give me discomfort. I would push the needle in very slowly, and it seems like I would always hit some spot that was a little tender or a little spot that was basically saying, hey, I don't like you being here. And so I would abort mission and like move it over just a little bit and try to find another spot. Well, guess what? I just stopped being able to find spots that seemed to work anymore. So I just kept going to my right delt and just injecting there again and again and again. And then it got a little weird and acted like it didn't want to give me any good spots anymore, where it just didn't feel, I don't know, it just started feeling I would get a little more discomfort either upon injection or upon using the syringe to push in the testosterone. It just felt a little uncomfortable. So, what did I do? Well, I went back to my glute injections, and I've been doing those. I think I've probably done about 3 now. And guess what? They've just all been going in as smooth as butter, no problems, hardly even any blood when I take the syringe out and swab the area again with the prep pad. And so I'm happy. Why do I bring all this up? Basically, guys, you don't have to get married to one injection site. It's not like if you are a deltoid injector that you can only be that, and if you're a glute injector that you can only be that. It's not like we're starting little gangs here and we can only be on our little turf. Like, oh, I'm a deltoid injector. Oh, you're a glute injector. Well, let's fight. It's not like that. You don't have to get married to one spot. You can move around and try different spots. And if one spot that was working for you stops working for you, guess what? Move somewhere else. The goal is just to get the stuff in our body so we can what? Start functioning normally again. Get back to our normal lives again. Because if you're like me, you know that your low testosterone affected your mood, your motivation, your muscle, even your mind, didn't it? Like your thinking was off too sometimes, not quite as sharp as you used to be. And so our goal is just to get back to normal. We have low testosterone. We are replacing it to get back to normal amounts so we can be normal again, so we can be good husbands again, and good fathers again, and good employees again, and all those things, right? So don't get married to one spot. Just get the stuff in your body. And that's what I'm doing again. Inevitably, someone's going to ask me this: what size needle do you use for your injections? All right, listen, my glute injection, I use a 23 gauge and 1 inch. 23 gauge, 1 inch. My deltoid injections, if I'm not mistaken, was the 20, what was it? 27 or 28 gauge, I believe, and half inch. So glute, of course, that's a larger one, but and yes, it hurts a little bit more going in, but that's such a big muscle down there in that area that I'm just used to it. Plus, guys, we just got to be big boys and just do this, right? All right, listen, if you are benefiting from this so far, go ahead and hit the like button as you're coming in. That's really what I wanted to say about my glute injection. I am enjoying it. I'm back to it again. It's working fine. I'm going to stay there as long as I can until maybe that spot starts to tell me, like, hey, not really liking you here anymore. Then I might go back to deltoid again. We'll just see. Also, I want to know who all I've got in here. Why don't you tell me, where do you inject right now? Where do you inject right now? Go ahead and comment if you don't mind, and let me know, what kind of injector are you? What gang are you in? What spot do you? Okay, deltoid. Thanks, Nuna. What else do we have in here? Alternate the quads. Okay. You know what, Jackie Black? I've never done a quad injection ever. I don't know what it is. I can inject in my deltoid, and I can look at it while I'm doing it, and I can inject in my glute and even watch myself do it. But the thought of looking down at my thigh and then jabbing a needle into it, I don't know. It just does something weird to me. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. All right. South TX Roughneck. Been off for almost 2 years. Oh, wow. Okay. Was that by your doctor's prescription, or did you have a bad experience? Just let me know. All right. So we got deltoids, quads. All right, John, you started TRT within the last year. Initially, your doctor and your specialist let you inject once a month. Ugh. We talked about this, then prescribed me every other week, but won't let me do more often. I'm guessing, John, are you going to them to get your injection? Like you go there to get the injection? Because if they just send you home with the meds and your syringes, then you can inject as often as you want, as long as you're still like, whatever let's say you inject 200 every 2 weeks. We'll just split that and inject 100 every week. So, John, no, your wife does it. Okay. Well, listen, they are the boss of telling you how much you are supposed to put into your body. They are totally the boss of that. But they're not literally the boss of when you get to put it in. And again, I don't want to override your doctor's prescription if he says, only do it this way, or you're out of here. I won't have you as a patient anymore. Well, of course, I guess do what he says. But most doctors, like mine, he didn't care that I started splitting it and injecting weekly. Actually, I inject bi-weekly now. I inject on Mondays and Thursdays because, again, like I've told you guys in the past, I like to keep my levels like right there in the middle. I don't like them to get too high and too low. I just noticed that didn't work well with my body. Let's see. So then I'll just buy more needles. Yeah, exactly, John. Just buy more needles. I buy mine from Amazon, and I always buy them in bulk. That way you can save more money. So I get, like, I don't know, 100 or something needles sent to my house. And then I've got all these needles. And so, of course, as you know, you only use them once and throw them away. Don't ever reuse a needle. Never, ever, 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 ever. That's bad. All right. I started initially. Okay. This is Jackie Black. You initially started sub Q shots. Okay. Yeah. I've tried sub Q once, and I just learned that I'm just not a sub Q guy. I just didn't really like it. Sub Q, for those of you who don't know, is when you pinch a little bit of belly fat and it actually inject right into the belly fat. And I just noticed, for me, it just like left a little like pocket that kind of gets hard, and it just, I don't know, it kind of grossed me out. So I didn't like it. All right, Prince. Well, by the way, I don't think we've ever had a Prince on this channel before, so it's good to have you in here, Your Highness. You haven't started yours yet? You're working on lowering your prolactin level first. Hopefully, by the end of the year, I'll join the community. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Louis Kang, Delts only for you. You're on 150 milligrams and you're feeling like a king. Awesome. Yeah. Back when I was on 150, that's actually the highest dose that my doctor ever prescribed for me. Um, Liu Kang, I hope I'm saying that right. That's the highest he ever had me on. And yeah, I was feeling pretty good too. But what happened with me was my estrogen level started going up. As you guys know, if you inject too much testosterone, your body aromatizes the extra testosterone over into estrogen. And then your estrogen starts going up. And then, we don't want high estrogen. We men aren't supposed to have high estrogen. It messes us up. And so, just to let you guys know also that Let's Get Checked, these at-home testosterone testing kits, they also offer a kit where you can check both your testosterone and your estrogen in the same kit. I actually used that in the past, and that was really cool. So, and that's then the link below if you wanted an at-home kit. They offer affordable and professional and discreet testing kits that they send right to your house. All right, Nuna, currently on 100 milligrams weekly, but feel like I would benefit from a small increase. Yeah, see, that's the thing with testosterone. Usually, if you do put in a little bit more, you do experience usually more energy and things like that. But you've got to find kind of that happy medium because if you start getting a little too much, then your estrogen is going to start going up too. And most people at that point would then say, "Oh, well, just take an aromatase inhibitor," and you could do that if you want. But that's just more synthetic drugs in your body, and that's more money coming out of your pocket. And I don't know, the jury's still out on whether or not um, an AI is actually even good for you. So some people have different opinions on that. So I get my release in June. Oh, okay. So you get back on in June. Well, that's not far away. This is my third month on TRT. I'm staying on it. I'm staying on this for life. Yeah, actually, you have to stay on it for life. I hope you're on it because your doctor prescribed it. Otherwise, well, you really shouldn't be on it. Because will it help you build muscle? Of course it will. Absolutely. But as you know, once you start injecting it, your brain recognizes sufficient amounts of testosterone in your system, and then it sends signals down to your testes and say, "Hey, stop producing testosterone. I've got enough now." And then so your testes basically shut down, and your body stops producing its own testosterone. And so, yeah, when you try to go back to normal, if you're not on a doctor's prescription, you're gonna have a heck of a time because you're gonna come off of it and then you're gonna have this lapse where your body then tries to start getting back to where it was, and you're not gonna be feeling great. So please, guys, only be on it if your doctor prescribed it. Otherwise, you don't want to mess with your hormones. Oh my word, they affect so much about you, your sense of well-being, motivation, depression levels, whether or not you're happy or depressed and all that stuff. So let's not monkey with them. And I'm not saying that you are, Kang. I'm just saying I hope nobody does. That's all I'm saying. All right, Daniel Dowling Jr., you do sub Q, but your T levels went up over 1200. Okay. Now I take an aromatase inhibitor because my ingestion went up. You take about 0.5 milliliters a week. Okay. One way that you can also, Daniel, get your testosterone down, of course, is to just inject less. And so, but I don't know what you and your doctor have set up, but that's how I controlled my levels so that I didn't have to take an AI because I don't want to take an AI. I just want to inject just enough testosterone that everything's happy and fine. Because if it gets too high, then I got to take an AI, and if it's too low, of course, then I'm too low and I got to inject more. So I like to land right in the middle, so that I just feel normal, and I'm not also bound then to be on an AI because I got to pay for that. It's more stuff in my body, and so, but that's just how I roll. We're all different. What other questions do you have, guys? I tell you, listen, I'm kind of enjoying going back to the glute injection as well, and I'll tell you why. My deltoid injections that I was doing, tiny little needle, skinny, skinny. and shorter, only about half an inch, because I'm not a heavy guy. I'm a lean guy, so there's not a lot of fat to go through in my shoulders. It's real lean, so I can get to the muscle very easily. Um, if you've got a little more, we'll call it insulation. If you got a little more insulation on your muscle, then you'll need a longer needle to get to the muscle. But I was able to get just a little skinny needle. Um, but why I'm enjoying the glute is because it's a fatter needle, and so I can pull out the testosterone a whole lot quicker. Because as you guys know, testosterone, it's very thick, it's very oily, and so now I can pull it out real quick. And I'm like, oh, that was easy, that was quick. Because doing it with a little skinny needle, I have to like pull it out and sit there and wait and wait and wait for it to fill up because that stuff's so thick. All right. Maybe I missed it. Do you dose daily, twice a week, or once a week? Brad Keys, that's okay that you missed it. No problem. I don't mind repeating myself at all. I inject every Monday and Thursday, and I inject 40 milligrams with each of those. Or about 45 ish. So I'm getting about 90 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week. That's what I inject. And I found that level keeps me like just right. If I get a little higher than that, like around 120 or 150, my estrogen goes up, and because my T level's too high. But 90 seems to keep me just right. And so that's what I found. But that took me like a few years to figure that out. If any of you guys are new, it's just a normal part of the process to have to sort of monkey with your levels and figure out what's just right for you. And you and your doctor will figure that out, because you go in every, 6 months to a year, right? To get checked again. And as you know, he's going to check your levels and see where you're landing and make adjustments accordingly. So don't get shocked if your doctor wants to bring you down a little bit or to bump you up a little bit over the first year. We're all different, and we all absorb it at different rates. And, we're trying to figure out what's right for our bodies. Robert Bacon, cool last name. Use an 18 gauge to draw and a 23 to inject. Yes, and I used to do that too. But I'm just a cheapskate, man. I didn't want to buy the 18 gauge. I'm just a cheapskate. They cost me a quarter each. So I was just like, I'll just draw with my injecting needle. And I know some people say, but Cohen, that dulls the needle. And so then when you inject with it, it hurts a little bit more. Well, that doesn't bother me. I'm a big boy. And so that's just what I do. I guess maybe it doesn't hurt a little bit more, but it's not like stabbing myself with a knife or anything. What are the symptoms that make you feel like your dose is too high and your estrogen needs to be controlled by an AI? That's from Nuno Rocha. That's a great question. This is when I kind of figured that my estrogen was too high. My chest area was getting a little puffy, like around my nipples, they were getting a little puffy. Because as you know, if your estrogen gets too high, you have what's called gynecomastia, otherwise known as man boobs. Now, was I anywhere close to getting man boobs? No, not at all. But you guys do know that is a condition, and that's brought on by having very high estrogen when you're a man, and it'll cause that. And so I just noticed a little bit more puffiness in my chest. Again, not man boobs, just a little puffiness. And then I also noticed I seemed to be holding a little more water, like I was heavier on the scales. And because higher estrogen will cause your body to hold water as well. And so those were my kind of signs when I knew that my estrogen was probably getting a little high. So that's a great question. Let's see, what else do we got? What was the website you're buying your syringes and needles from? Amazon.com, homie. That's just what I use. Amazon.com. I get on there and I type in the size needle I want, like let's say 23 gauge, 1 inch or something like that. And then I'll find the ones that have a good amount of solid reviews, and I'll buy those. And that's how I do it. And it's always worked for me doing it that way. So hope that helps you. Amazon.com. It's that easy. Hope they have that. Joshua Hurd in your country. If you're here in the States, then of course they do. Brad Keys, you said, by the way, thanks for all your content. It's great to be able to have these discussions. You're very welcome. I actually started this channel to help people. That's why I say that at the beginning of all my videos. Let's help each other, because that's what I want to do. Because I can remember back when I had low T thinking I was losing my mind and knowing something was wrong with me. So I basically said, I don't want anyone else to have to go through this. And so let me make some videos just to help help the normal guy out there, not the guys that are looking to get all massive muscles and stuff like that. I mean, you're welcome to be here too, but it's just not a lot of normal guys out here that are just trying to get back to normal life, right? We got a wife, a job, children, and all that, and we're just trying to feel good again because we know we don't feel like ourselves. So, Brad, you're very welcome. I'm really glad the channel's helped you. Guys, if you're in here and you haven't hit the like button, please do that. If you think I've earned that, I would really appreciate it. That helps the YouTube algorithms. It lets them know that, hey, this guy, people like him. Let's see. Joshua Hurd, how long until you really saw cognitive results, like good results? A few weeks is when I started, my mood started getting better, and I was able to, have just a good outlook on life again, and think clearly. Now, granted, I didn't have a lot of brain fog back then when I was low T to start with, because that was like 3 years ago. But I've noticed now, because there was a time when I lapsed. I actually did a video about this. What happened when I ran out? That's what the video is called. And it was all about when I ran out of testosterone between my two doctor appointments, basically, because it's a controlled substance. You can't go get it unless he gives you the prescription. Well, I ran out, and then I wasn't supposed to get it again for like 2 weeks, basically. So I went like almost 2 weeks without an injection. And the brain fog was legit, dude. It was like, wow. I was walking through a Walmart and totally forgot why I was even there. I was like, where? Which wait, because the Walmart set up with like the food stuff on this side and then like the stuff on this side. And I was walking from one side to the other. I forgot which side I was going to, which side I came from, and I was like, where am I going? What am I? And it took me about 5 seconds just sitting there like totally confused. And then it finally kicked back in like normal. And then I was driving home from the Walmart, and I was on a certain stretch of road looking around, and I didn't recognize anything. And I was like, where exactly? I mean, I knew I was in Alabama going home to my house, but I couldn't tell where on the road I was. Like, am I halfway? Am I almost there? Am I just getting started? And then 5 seconds later, it went away. So now, if I don't inject for a few weeks, I'll get brain fog. But that's the only time that I've had that happen. So looks like a lot of you guys in here are answering each other's questions. So that's good. I like it when we help each other like that. Nice benefits in the strength gain and muscle size increase, the clarity of mind, massive improvement of anxiety. Yep. And depression is the best part of TRT. I'm glad you said that, Nuno, because a lot of people just think about testosterone. They just think muscles, right? When anxiety and depression, unfortunately, are a part of having low T as well for some people. And I just wonder how many guys out there went to the doctor because they were down in the dumps, and a doctor just immediately started pushing pills on them, and all it was low testosterone. I wonder about that a lot. All right, guys, if you're just getting here, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. That happened to you, Nuno. Wow. Yep. I'm telling you, I think it's happening daily because we are a very medicated society right now, unfortunately. And I just think that there's some guys on it who don't have to be. All right. Oh, thanks. Just for fun. Thanks for liking. I appreciate that. Welcome in, guys. What other questions do you guys have, if any? As I said, I'm back to glute injections now and really liking them. And I've got everything I need. I still had a lot of the old needles that I used during my glute injections back in the day. And so I just pulled them back out and started going again. And everything worked nicely. So again, don't get married to just one way of injecting. Just get the stuff in your body. That's all we're looking to do. And so whatever works for you, try it. All right. Anyone else experienced insatiable hunger at times. Oh my goodness, yes. Man, there have been times I remember back when I was injecting like around 100 or 120. I wanted to eat anything that wasn't nailed down. I'm telling you, I wanted to eat and eat and eat. But I didn't know because I was trying to keep my belly from getting fluffy. And so, oh gosh, though, I would actually watch eating competition videos, like where they eat as much as they want to eat, like they're trying to win some prize, or like Matt Stoney, that Asian guy that eats all that stuff. I used to just watch his videos and just wish I could eat like he was eating. That's sad, isn't it? Just watching somebody else eat, wishing you could do it, wishing you could just eat anything you want. That's what I did. So I'm going to change this light a little bit. It's making me pretty red. That's a little bit less. Okay. Have you tried the TRT cream? Thanks, CJ, for asking that. I never have. I've never actually tried the, they also call it something else. Gel. That's what they will also call it. I've never tried that. And I probably won't. I'll tell you why. I've talked to two guys. Well, I haven't talked to two guys. I've talked to one guy, and then I also heard about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is also on TRT. He suffers from low T as well. He said he started off with cream, the gel, but after a while, it seemed to be less effective. And so he went over to injections. And then another gentleman that I've talked to once, he did the same thing. He was on the gel for a long time. I think he rubbed it on his chest, is where they recommend, because then you can put your shirt over it and not chance getting it on anybody, because it's very transferable. If you have it on like your arm and you like rub up against somebody, it can get on them and absorb into them, but probably not very much. So this gentleman also said the same thing that Joe Rogan said. He was on it. It worked fine at first. Then it seemed to be less effective. And so he went on the injections as well. I prefer injections because I know exactly how much I'm putting into my body. With the gel, you don't know how much actually absorbs. So I probably would never do the gel. Plus, I've heard it's crazy expensive. And so for those reasons, rather, I just wouldn't. Yeah. Someone said bad if you have a wife or kids and there's a transfer from skin to skin. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, CJ, what are your T levels now? 800 or over 1,000? Okay, here's the thing. I actually go back probably next week to get my T levels checked again. It's been a year since I've had my T levels checked. My doctor prescribed me enough to last me a year. So I just haven't gone back because I haven't felt bad. And I can read my body pretty well. I can tell when something's off, and I haven't felt that. So I'll be going back probably next week, if not next week, the one after, to get my T levels checked again. So I don't even know what my levels are right now, to tell you the truth. I haven't tested them in such a long time, but I know I feel fine. I don't feel too high or too low. So I'm just going with it. Looks like you've put on muscle in the last few months. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Freedom Fox. Appreciate that. How much do I owe you for that compliment? All right. I'm actually getting ready for a really, really long Spartan race. It's you guys know I do Spartan races. No, they don't pay me. I just wear their merch around because I'm proud to do these races because they're very hard. Some of them especially. But I just signed up for their longest, most grueling one. I say I just signed up. It was actually months ago, but I've been training for it, and it's going to be in about 2 weeks in North Carolina. So anybody in North Carolina, I'll be in your neck of the woods soon. But it's a 30-mile, 60 obstacle race. And so through the mud and the woods and water and over walls and under barbed wire and monkey bars and just 30 miles. And so I've been working hard to try to get ready for that. But thank you. Let me see. So let's see. My son started dividing his dose after you suggested it, and it has definitely helped the extreme ups and downs. Awesome, American Girl. Thanks for saying that. That is great. That's what I like to hear because I like to help people. And so praise God. Yeah, those extreme highs and extreme lows, they are no fun. What range do you prefer your estrogen levels? CJ, I just like mine, low. I don't know what range, just not high. And so I'm sorry, I don't have those numbers for you. Poor CJ. He's wanting all these exact numbers from me. And I'm sorry, big man. I just don't have them. Does your doctor give you Clomid? He never did, because from what I hear, Clomid is for if you have secondary hypogonadism, and I have primary. Primary means the problem is in your testicles. Your testicles are just not producing what they're supposed to anymore. They're getting right signals from the brain saying, hey, produce more, hey, produce more. And the testicles just, for whatever reason, we don't know why there's such an increase in this lately for men over the past like 30 years. But for some reason, it's getting a bit more common to have low testosterone. And so I have primary hypogonadism. That means the problem's in my testicles. If I'm not mistaken, secondary hypogonadism requires Clomid. It means your testicles are fine, but something's going on with the glands up here in your brain that send signals, LH and FSH, saying, hey, produce testosterone. Well, the testes, which are fine, are not getting the signals. And so you have to take something that then mimics those signals from your brain. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what Clomid's for. I could be wrong. It's just because I don't have secondary hypogonadism, so I don't know as much about it. But no, my doctor's only ever given me testosterone replacement therapy, testosterone cypionate. He did prescribe me some aromatase inhibitors once. I actually think I still have the bottle here because I didn't even take them all. And so I was on those for a little while, and I just stopped taking them because I didn't even need them anymore. Yeah, I still got the bottle from like 3 years ago. There it is, right there, see? And there's still some in there. I just don't need them anymore, so I don't take them. And because I figured out how to lower my testosterone by just injecting less. So that's what I did. All right, let's see. Just started TRT 7 weeks in. Got levels checked. I get 200 milligrams every 14 days. Okay, so basically you could do 100 a week. My level was 600 at the halfway, though, 7 days after injection. Is that good? Yeah, 600 is good. Yeah, anything between like, I don't know, 600 to 1,000 is good. And also, how do you feel? This is from Mac Wag, by the way. We just have to, how do you feel? It's really all about how you're feeling, not so much your numbers, because if you're feeling better at 1,000, good. And if you're feeling better at 600, good. So this is what I would do, Mac Wag, though, to avoid those extreme highs and extreme lows. And I've got videos on this. You can find it on my site. I've got videos about when should you inject, how much should you inject, all those things. And I discuss why I think at least injecting weekly is better to keep you from those crazy highs and crazy lows. Because if it's too high, you're going to start making more estrogen. And if it's too low, you're going to get in your funky moods and low energy again. So if you can keep it right in the middle by injecting every week, because this is what it basically does. You inject, it peaks, and then it drops. Then you inject again, and it peaks, and then it drops. You inject again, and it peaks, and then it drops. So you kind of want to keep it here in that middle ground. So MacWag, you do you, but I would totally split that and inject 100 milligrams every week and just see if you feel better. Maybe you feel great right now. So don't do anything that your doctor doesn't want you to do, though. I'm not your doctor. None of this is medical advice. None of it. Scrotal cream. You can try it. I've never used it. Don't know anything about it, but I would just go back to what I said earlier about the cream. You don't know how much is actually getting into your system. Is there a reason why you would switch your glutes to somewhere else and any benefit or negatives? Okay, so I switched from glutes to deltoids back in the day. Honestly, just because I was tired of doing glutes. Have to like spin around, and it was just kind of getting inconvenient. And it seemed also like I was having a harder time hitting spots that seemed happy. It seemed like, I don't know if it was scar tissue or I don't know, but it seemed like I was having a hard time getting spots that didn't say, ouch, hey, that hurts, quit. And so I said, well, let me try deltoids. So I started doing research on deltoids, learned where to inject, tried it. And I was like, hey, this is really easy. I just go like, boop, right there, and I'm done. And so and I did that for a while. And like I said at the beginning of the video, just sort of now my deltoids just started acting like, hey, we're not happy anymore to get these injections. We're not going to let you have any spot anymore where you can inject. It seems like every spot that I try now, it's like feels too tender. When I go to inject the medicine, it just felt like a balloon in there. And I was just like, whatever, let me just go back to glutes. And so that's what I did. MacWag, thank you so much. I'm just trying to figure out what to do. That was what I'm wondering about going to once a week. You're welcome. And I would say definitely. I can recall back when I put out some of my first videos where I was talking about how, hey, I inject every 2 weeks. Man, I got so many comments. I got flooded with comments from guys who've been on TRT longer than me saying, dude, you should try once a week. Seriously. And so, anyway, lots of nerves in the butt, though, is what you say. Yeah, I guess there are, but thank the Lord, I know this is funny. I'm gonna share some information with you guys. I know right where to inject in my glutes because I use a freckle as a landmark. And I know right where to inject, how far away from that freckle. And so that's where I always go to, and it's happy. It's a good spot. So I don't know if you got freckles, use freckles. All right. I've actually got a guest in the video in the studio today, and he's probably like, "Oh wow, this guy's a goofball." But trust me, my viewers love me, right? You guys love me, right? I love you guys. By the way, I just hit 16,000 subscribers, I think like yesterday or the day before. So thank you all very much. 16,000 subscribers. I can remember 3 years ago, back when I was just hoping, praying to get to 1,000 subscribers, thinking, oh, won't that be a glorious day when I get to 1,000? I'll be in the big leagues then. And so, now I have 16,000. So praise God. I'm so happy for that. Thank you guys very, very much. Really grateful. Anything else? I'm here for you if you have another question. If you're in here and you have not hit the like button, if you think I've earned it, I'd really appreciate it if you smash that like button. It just helps this video and this channel go out to more people. So, well, I'm here for you guys. If you got any more questions before I bounce out, I hope me explaining why I went back to glutes was maybe helpful for some of you. I currently inject in the deltoids every day. I've been contemplating going to the glutes just because my delts aren't so happy anymore. Ryan, I'm with you, man. Mine did that too. I don't know. I didn't realize these deltoids were so fickle. But mine are getting a little fickle. They're like, I'll like try one spot and they're like, nope, not there. We're not happy. So I'll try like a centimeter over and it's like, nope, not there. I don't like that either. So I'll try another spot. Nope, not. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to the other side. And then I go over there and it's like, I don't want you either. And I'm like, you guys are picky. My deltoids. Let's see. All right. I'm going through the same thing. Yeah. I don't know, Ryan. Maybe try the glute, see what happens. But know this, I don't know what size needle you're using for your deltoids. Obviously, there's less muscle there. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're like Ronnie Coleman and you got like massive shoulders, but I can use a little 1/2 inch needle for my deltoid because I don't have a lot of fat there to get into the muscle. But of course, on my backside, I mean, I don't have a fat backside either, but it's just a bigger muscle. And so I use a 1 inch for there just to make sure it's getting all the way into my muscle. So just know that, Ryan, that if you're going to go with a glute, you might need a little bit longer needle just to make sure it's getting all the way into the muscle. Okay. Dan M, how about the quads? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. I've just never been able to do quads. I just can't look down at my quads and shove a needle in. I know it doesn't make any sense, Dan. It makes no sense. Because I can look at my deltoid and put one in, and I can look at my glute and put one in. But something about looking down at my legs and going stab just makes me like get lightheaded feeling. And so, nope, I've never done quads, probably never will. I'm just a weirdo like that. Do you think TRT would be ideal for a person that wants to travel international? I think that there's a special form that your doctor can fill out for you so that when you go through the TSA check and they open your bag and they say, hey, you've got testosterone here, which is a controlled substance, and you got needles. Now, granted, they would not let you take that on the plane, as in like in the cabin. You couldn't take it on your carry-on. But if it's inside your luggage, take that special form with you. your doctor's done this before. He knows what to do when people travel with a controlled substance. So go to your doctor. He's going to give you like a special prescription or a special form or something that you can include with those things so that when the TSA zip opens up your bag and they find a controlled substance, they're not like, putting out an alert to arrest you. So talk to him. I'm pretty sure there's like a special form for traveling internationally with a controlled substance. Yeah, somebody else, Freedom Fox One, somebody else talked about injecting in the ventral glutes. And if you want to try that, then go for it. Again, we don't have to get married to one spot. CJ says lots of veins in the legs too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've hit a vein before, and it just bleeds more when you take the needle out. But I've also injected almost into a vein once. That's why it's good to aspirate your needle once you shove it in. Aspirate. Make sure you pull back on the plunger and see a little bubble come in, because if you pull back and you see blood come in, abort mission and find a new spot, because that means you've injected into a vein and you don't want to do that. I mean, are you going to die? No, but you're going to be very sore the next day. All right. My wife actually injects into my side hip area. Cool. My wife can never inject me. I think she would throw up and pass out at the same time. Let's see. It's mostly customs that care about drugs. TSA only cares about weapons. Oh, okay. That's the reason I do deltoids, fear of injecting into a vein. Yeah. I even was told that you don't even have to aspirate when you go into your deltoids. So I really never even aspirated. Plus, it's hard to anyway, because when you're doing deltoids, you only have one hand that you can do it with. It's not like you can like reach around with this hand and do it. That's not possible, right? The doctor's note couldn't hurt. Yes. I mean, try that. I store my test in the refrigerator. Is that a bad idea? No, just for fun. It's not a bad idea, but it's not necessary. Because as long as it's in like a cool, dry place, like I store mine in my drawer in my bathroom. I just open the drawer, get it out, get the needles, swab the area, and then go for it. So no, it's not bad unless you're going to be storing it for like a crazy long time. Like if you need it to last, for like a year or something like that, maybe I'd put it in the fridge. But otherwise, all that's going to do is make it even thicker, and it's already thick, man. So you don't have to put it in the fridge. No, it's not going to kill you to do it, but it's just not necessary. Like for example, when you pick it up from the pharmacy, is it cold? Nope, because they don't store it in a fridge either. Dan M, it's actually not so difficult. There are good videos in the internet. Just flex your muscle. You'll feel it. Oh, okay. You got people helping each other, people here with the ideas. All right, guys. Well, you know what? That's all I got. And it looks like I've answered a lot of your questions. Can you be on TRT and still follow a vegan diet? Of course you can. Of course you can. Because TRT just gets you up to normal testosterone levels, which just gets you back to where you're supposed to be. And so, yeah, absolutely. Really, we're just trying to get back to normal T levels. And so once you're back to normal, you can do anything. You can be on a vegan diet, you can be a carnivore, whatever, just whatever works best with your body. Guys, gotta bounce. We're going to a cookout here and just an hour or so. Thank you guys for your questions. I hope that the answers have been beneficial for you. I'll see you guys again soon. I'll probably do another video before my big race, just because I want to encourage you guys to kind of push yourself and find some big goals for yourself, because you might be surprised that you can actually do them. All right. Thanks for watching. God bless. Peace.